Does he see himself?
Yeah, he sees himself.
Look at himself.
All right, stream has started. Now let's see if people filter in. Debbie. Hello, Debbie. Yeah. Who's that in there? You gonna say hi to Debbie? Say hi to Debbie. Where are you going? Where are you going? I know. What do you see? Nona. Hello. Hello, Nona. Yeah, what are you going to type? What are you going to type in there? And there's Amy. Hi, Amy. Grandkids galore. Hello. Where are you going? Don't you want to be on the stream? Don't you want to be on the stream? Huh? Yeah, you getting fussy? Oh no. Well, Mommy, I think maybe Davey's done for the day. Say goodnight, Davey.
Good night, Davey.
All right. This has been quite the undertaking to set up, you guys. Let me tell you. It has been a couple of days of testing, and a couple of days of failures, and a couple of days of trying new things. Woo. Hi, Matt. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Rhonda. And this is Matthew, for people who haven't seen Matthew before. Of the two twins, Matthew's definitely kind of more of the chill. He definitely loves to just do his own thing, though, too. So, Davey's got big emotions, is what we keep saying. Well, everybody wants to type. Everybody wants to type. Yeah. If you guys can believe it, these guys are going to be 15 months old here in a couple of days. I know. It's just craziness. It's craziness. You're being such a good boy. Yeah. You guys can see the dangers of having a toddler. Little Matthew here fell on the concrete the other day and scratched his face. So, what's your foot doing up on there? What's your foot doing up on there? Yes, very true. Very true. They are full of trouble. Would you like some water? Yeah. I had them stay up a little bit late so they could be on the beginning of the stream for you guys who came on early. So a little bit of a little added bonus for you guys who made it then. Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Oh, man. So yeah, getting the stream set up, one of the things I really wanted to be able to do was share my screen so when we pick the winner at the end, you guys could see the program pick the winner. I think that's really fun. And the problem was that the software that YouTube has built in doesn't let you share your screen. You have to do another software on top of that. And of course, all of the softwares that I tried, it said my operating system wasn't current enough to be able to do that. So I had to upgrade my operating system. And let's just say that not everything went to plan. The movie editing software that I use is iMovie, right? Like most people do, is free. That had to be, I had to like roll it back to a different version and upgrade again. It was craziness. And then the really bad one was my thermal printer. Is apparently not supported under the new operating system. All right, say goodnight, Matthew. Say goodnight. Good night. So, that was a fun thing to find out today. I went to print out some labels for packages, and sure enough, no printer. And no matter what, I spent about an hour, 2 hours working on it, and just could not get that printer running. I've got an old Eltron, which then was I think purchased by Zebra. I don't know what it is. They both make the same ones at least at some point or another. And I had gotten it off eBay probably like 8 years ago now, used, and I got it working again, and it's been great, but it's old, so no software, no drivers, especially I'm on a Mac, just is not going to work. So ordered a new label printer today, ordered a Rollo, the USB Rollo. Oh man, I was not expecting to drop $200 today on a new label printer, but it is something that I've been interested in upgrading for a while now. We'll see. You know, always like to get new toys, new technology. So, oh yes, Ruth, definitely 15-month-olds near the keyboard is going to be a lot of trouble, for sure. But it's been pretty good with them. They've been honestly very good about not being too crazy and not grabbing things when they're not supposed to, but occasionally they get a little out of line. So, so yeah, you guys, feel free to ask anything you like in the comments and in the chat. Try and answer as best as I can. Otherwise, I've put together like a few talking points to talk about if you guys want to listen to me ramble for a while. This might have been the most fun of the stream with David and Matthew in here, but we'll see. It says we've got 10 people watching, so that's pretty interesting to me. I wasn't really sure if this was going to get any views at all, to be honest, you guys. I really have loved seeing all the comments come in on the entries, and just I'd asked, like, tell me something you like about the channel, so that was nice to have some very positive comments come in. Some very like heartwarming ones, just saying like they really appreciate some of the work that I do, and that I've been trying to do more teaching in my videos, which I thought was really important. So, oh yeah, right, from the Commonwealth Picker. I figured like most of the YouTubers have one, a lot of people have one. He did an auction for one of these original ones, and so I made sure to go and win one when I was doing that one time, and I didn't regret it. I thought, honestly, guys, I thought maybe also he would do, in his What Sold video, he'd say, oh, hey, Patrick the Picker bought one of these, go check out his channel. He didn't. That's okay, though. Little shameless plugs, right? But, yeah. And, man, I also put up some of my favorite stuff up there. Let's see if we can, I haven't done this in a while. We got Optimus Prime there. Found him at a sale last year, about a year ago actually. Bought a whole bunch of old 1980s Transformers. That one actually is in a video somewhere. And then I've got Rob from Nintendo. That was from the 80s as well. That was before I started YouTubing actually. But I paid up a little bit for him. I just thought it would be worth it to have him and just add him to my collection. And then you guys know, if you've been on the channel at all, you saw me talk about this Game Boy back here. No buyers yet. I did get one guy reach out to me about coming to an offer, but he never actually submitted one. And it's kind of nice just to have it in the collection for a little while. I've had it on display and enjoying it for a bit, but we live in a two-bedroom apartment, so there's not a ton of room for even stuff really that big. The Transformers are about as big as I like to go. So once it sells, it'll be gone, and I've been happy with the time I had with it. So, oh my gosh. Ping G, yes, exactly right. Every time you upgrade, right, there's always problems. It's never easy, right? It always seems like they're like, oh no, it's going to be super easy. The last time I did my cell phone, I had all my music on there that I had ripped from my CDs back in the day, so that put it into iTunes. And the last time I upgraded, for whatever reason, it just wasn't there anymore, and my phone was gone. So there was no going back. The music was all gone. Luckily, for the most part, right, everything's on Spotify or something else these days. But it still was like, oh man, I spent hours putting my CDs in and ripping them. So Kevin is on Whatnot right now, selling some stuff. Interesting. Is it right now, Grandkids Galore, or is it just in general he's on there selling some stuff? Ruth, I'm with you. I'm not super interested in Whatnot. Like, I don't know. For all of us, right? Time is always such a big issue, right? We always are looking for how to maximize our time, make sure we're being as efficient as possible, so that we can have a good life too, right? We want to be able to go and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Um, it's like, oh my gosh, there's another thing that we got to do. You got to set everything up. You got to actually host the stream. Hopefully, you're interesting. It's tough, right? Like you're got to be on the whole time, right? So, oh man, let's see. Amber had picked this guy up at an estate sale probably a couple of months ago, and so it's made it into my iced tea collection here. I'm always making iced tea and drinking that. What do you guys have that you seem to can't get rid of, right? You go out to buy stuff to sell, and then you end up having more things come into your house. So tell me some of the things that you guys get into your house. Oh, he's on right now. So, oh man, I'm losing all my viewers to Kevin. So like, I collect toys, right? So the Transformers, we've talked about that. I collect some video game stuff, so I've got a little bit of that. I collect board games. We've got a pretty large collection, maybe medium collection, depending on how you look at it. About 150 different games now. It's easy to do. It's easy to collect. I use my cell phone mostly for spur of the moment stuff, right? Where I want to check the price on something or do a tiny bit of research. Otherwise, I'm the same way where I want to be on a computer with a big monitor. I want to have a mouse and a keyboard. Much easier than just trying to do everything on my cell phone. But you can't beat the portability, right? So, Geno's Finds, hello. I don't know. I'm having fun playing around with the software too, you guys. It's pretty interesting. Oh man, I tell you what. So Amber and I were talking earlier today about what's coming up next, right? We're into fourth quarter, and we're going to start to get to where garage sales are going to be harder and harder to find. Last year, I supplemented a lot more with estate sales, where I'd have to cut out of work on Friday a little early, maybe go to an estate sale, or we'd go to, if we're lucky, a rummage sale somewhere as well. But right, it gets to be where there's no more garage sales, and that's the most fun. So start going to thrift stores too. Like I haven't been to a thrift store really consistently since last winter. Um, Up here in Connecticut, we have Goodwill and then a chain called Savers. So my favorite is actually Savers. There's one in Manchester, Connecticut that's honestly I think pretty good. I almost always find something there. And if you go Saturday morning when they first open, usually their shelves have a good amount of stuff, and they're always bringing out new stuff on Saturday mornings too. So that helps a lot. But that's we're starting to get transitioned away from the garage sales into that. And then of course today, 85 degrees outside. So we had a pretty rough year with rain. Like, I can't tell you the number of Saturdays where it was dreary or rainy, and then I don't know, anywhere from a quarter to half of the sales that I wanted to go to are canceled because of the rain. So that stinks. Oh, Ruth, Josie and the Pussycats. Okay, a mug. I love it. When I wasn't born yet, yeah, probably. I don't know. You had a rummage sale. Okay. And not too many people came, huh? Interesting. I have dreamed of having one at some point just to get maybe some of that stale inventory, maybe even sell some things out of the death pile. Um, I do quite a bit of donations too. Like one of the things that I try to live by honestly is like if it's not worth something, then just get rid of it. Sometimes you can bundle things together and maybe make a little bit of money, but I'm like most of the time I have single items that I can spend plenty more than enough time on, and that'll take up all my time. I don't have to worry about doing some of these other bundles where I might make 10, 20, $30, right? It's sometimes not worth it. So a lot of times I'll just make a box, take that to Savers or to Goodwill, whichever I'm going to that day, get it out of the house. So, but I'd love to have a rummage sale. The apartments have said no. I also have a storage unit that's right down the street from the apartment, and they've also have pretty much told me that they don't want us to do that. I'd love to have people come into my storage unit and buy stuff. That would be really fun. Debbie collects cross stitch. Very interesting. That I'm curious. Then, what drew you to my channel, Debbie? Like, right? I'm a lot of electronics. I'm a lot of toys, and starting to get into some more kitchen stuff, right? But like, definitely have bought very little cross stitch stuff, or even anything in the textiles kind of category, right? So I'm kind of curious. I love it, Ping. Yeah, I've watched some when it was probably on Nickelodeon, Josie and the Pussycats. I watched a bunch of the older cartoons when I was growing up. Always had fun with them. What I've also been really looking forward to is you saw Matthew and David, they're starting to get very active and very interested in stuff. I'd love to start taking them with me to garage sales. I also know like it's going to be a bit of a pain right now, right? They want to touch everything, they want to pick up everything, they want to throw things, and they're going to lose interest very quickly. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a few years before it's really going to be worthwhile bringing them. But we still try to get a babysitter every month or two, and so Amber can come with me occasionally, which is really fun. Ruth, not recommended on the cross stitch? Really? Interesting. I have not done any cross stitch. I attempted to do a little bit of knitting at one point just to see what the craze was, and I didn't find it relaxing at all. I was like, I can't pay attention to this and also something else, so very hard. Where are you guys all located, by the way? What state are you in? I think I mentioned plenty of times, but we're in Connecticut. We live just outside of Hartford. Right, Connecticut. I think a lot of people don't really know much about Connecticut. You just hear about it on, I don't know, TV shows here and there where it's you got to get out of New York and go to Connecticut on vacation. Oh, Amy, I know. Amy, it's surprising that I haven't seen you much this year. I've been out quite a bit on Saturdays at least, and we've only run into each other, I think, 2 times this year. Known as in Iowa, very interesting. Makes my big fun thing with Iowa is, of course, Star Trek, where Captain Kirk's from Iowa. Amber's over there calling me a nerd. Ping's in California. Oh, it's early out there. Neat. Grandkids galore. Very good one, honestly. That's a good thing to talk about is boxes, poly bubble wrap, and all that stuff. Honestly, start with whatever you can find. Start to look into some of the stores in your area that might be interested in getting rid of boxes or even packing peanuts or any of that stuff for free. You may have to buy some tape. That's going to be probably one of the only things you can't get. But pretty much everything else, if you want to do a little hustle, you can probably get on the cheap, if not free, from stores. Also, you can look into your local Buy Nothing groups, right? So on Facebook, most of cities and towns have Buy Nothing Newington, right? Like Amy's from Newington. and you can post what you're looking for, and people will potentially make it available to you for free. You can also post about it on other forums like Craigslist. A lot of times you can post, hey, I'm looking for that. People are always looking to get rid of their boxes because they don't know what to do with them, and they don't necessarily want to throw them away. So materials, poly bags, those are going to be harder, but you can still come across it. I always have all my neighbors in my apartment building saving like the Amazon bubble mailers. Right? I'm always reusing those. Any of like the air pillow pockets, I'm always having them save those for me. And realistically, anything else that's pretty good. Well, at least one of our neighbors has one of those food delivery things where they send you all the materials and recipes, and then you cook the food. And those come in a pretty big box. So like, there's a nice source for big boxes for me, and constantly reusing those. Debbie's from Virginia. Okay, we were just down in Virginia last year. I don't know if you saw that video. We went down for Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh. N3738. You had told me what your name was at some point, but you've been watching this channel probably since like the early days, so welcome. It's so good to see you. Nice ping. Yes, exactly. People who are doing the stuff from Amazon, that's tons of boxes right there, tons of packing materials. UPS, that's good, Amy. I didn't know that. I barely use UPS. I mostly am using USPS, and I will use FedEx for like things like baseball bats and golf clubs. Occasionally anything else that's like longer like that, that's meeting the extra charge you get from the post office now for the dimensionality charge. But UPS, honestly, I almost never use it except for Amazon. So I do a little bit of Amazon FBA, or Fulfilled by Amazon, and doing DVDs, brand new board games, a few other things, like some CDs too when I can find them. The DVDs are kind of the big bread and butter item there for me. And they have a deal with UPS, so definitely get a really good shipping rate from them for that. And then I can either take it down to the UPS store, or actually Michael's, our local Michael's will accept packages, so that's actually closer. I'll just drive it there and drop it off, and boom, out the door. So very, very good advice, Amy. Oh, Ruth, those are excellent boxes. You're not wrong. With the styrofoam liners, definitely. If you can get them with, some of these boxes I found have like foam instead inside, where you can actually cut it and make it fit your item really well. Like those are really nice to find. Neat. Okay. So let's see. We got one person from the West Coast. That's good to see. I am originally from the Seattle area. Moved away from there, I guess, about 23 years ago now. So but I still have like the West Coast soul in me, right? Like it's hard to have the Connecticut attitude, right? There's so much. I don't know. It's fast, right? And I want to be slow. I want to like take my time. I want to wear ratty clothes, honestly. I love to wear my baseball hats. I love to wear t-shirts and shorts. Like I don't really want to dress nicely all the time. And that's been more of the culture here, is dressing a little bit nicer, at least it used to be. And oh my gosh, don't slow down for anything. Barely even say excuse me in the grocery store. It's been hard to get used to, that's for sure. Oh, neat, Nona. Do you know what town they live in? So let's see what has been interesting this week. I've been a little bit behind, as we all get, on listing things on eBay for sale. And I decided this week that I was going to get back on track. My goal is to list 5 items a day, Monday through Friday, so 25 items a week. Definitely, if I didn't have a full-time job, I would try and do more. I have heard if you do 10 a day, all 7 days, that you could potentially get up to full-time, which is pretty cool. I'd love to be able to get to there. But I've been pretty good. So far this week, I've listed 5 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I've got 5 ready to go for tomorrow. And then Friday morning, I'll get the last 5 ready. It's Halloween time, right? So trying to get all of my Halloween stuff listed. I listed a big pumpkin today, a big blow mold pumpkin. But I was curious if you guys have had any of these recently where I think we all hate this feeling where you list something and it sells instantaneously. And you just think to yourself, I priced it too low. Just gotcha, right? Just gotcha. It was kind of a good bad story for it this week where I listed these toys. They were, oh man, what were they called? Go-Go's Crazy Bones. Don't even ask me. Like, they're just silly little no moving parts toys. And I got them at an estate sale probably a couple months ago now. And I listed a big lot of them, and I was like, I'm just going to go high. I listed for 150. And literally it sold within a couple minutes of me listing it. And I thought, I wonder how much more I could have gotten. So tell me about a time recently that you guys had that happen to you. Oh, Ping, yeah, Kent. That was I was in Kent all the time. A couple of my friends lived there. Oh, good question. Do you think sales will pick up since holidays are coming up? 100% they will. Get those fourth quarter listings posted now. Think about time of year too, right? We're talking seasonality effect. Your holiday stuff is going to be right. Get all your Halloween stuff up now if you haven't already. Start getting your Thanksgiving stuff listed now if you haven't. Any of your Hanukkah stuff, if you have any of that, get all that listed. Any of the other holidays you might see coming up, if you've got it, list it now. Get it up. Christmas, of course. I think that's the easy one. I think many people will tell you you can list Christmas stuff kind of all year long, and it's probably going to sell pretty well, but it will sell very well probably mid-November through mid-December, maybe even through mid-January, because people are going to start pulling their Christmas decorations out, and they're going to find stuff that's broken. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I need whatever it was that broke. Let me go get that replacement from eBay. And then the opposite. You're going to be putting stuff away after Christmas, and you're going to break it. And you're going to be like, oh, I better replace it now before I forget next year. So Hallmark ornaments, that's a big one. They're going to sell very well this time of year. I sell a lot of Mr. Christmas. I was going to try and pull something out here, but I think there's too many things on top of it. Maybe I can get it. Let me see if I can get it, you guys. Oh, there we go. So this is, trying to get this ready right now. I picked this up at a church rummage sale, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, and it's been just sitting here collecting dust in the meantime. I figured as we were getting closer to November, I'd make sure to get it up. But honestly, like I said about Christmas stuff, you can pretty much list it any time, and it's going to sell pretty well all year long with a little bit of uptick in November, December. Yes, Ping, very good point. Brand new items are going to sell very well this time of year. I wouldn't say I live and die by brand new items, but who doesn't love them except maybe Ruth? Ruth, I know, doesn't like new stuff. But no testing. You don't have to do hardly any cleaning a lot of times. Maybe the packaging. My wife was talking to me, I'm sorry. New is good. Hard part is like, how do you know if it's going to be good, right? You can scan the barcode, you can look it up. Sometimes it's easy. If it's cheap, just buy it and find out later. But I do love selling brand new stuff. It is the easiest, that's for sure. Amy, that's awesome. $900? That is fantastic. Yeah, nice flip. Paying $100 and selling it for $900. That is excellent. Menorahs. Very interesting, Ruth. Very interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting topic, honestly, right? Pricing. How do you price things? Because you can go and do comps, right? At the end of every video, I make sure and do lots of comps to show the different pricing. I have gone back and forth on it depending on what type of item it is. Sometimes I'll price it right at the median, just right in the middle of it. Sometimes I'll price it at the high end, depending, like if there's not very many listed, I may just go high, because sometimes the lower ones will sell quickly and then you'll be the only one left. Or if there's a whole bunch of them, I personally think you got to be towards the bottom if it's not selling super quick anyway. If it is selling quick, then you're probably good in the middle again. It's the constant struggle of how to price things. And I feel like there's no real win. You're just gonna do the best you can. Oh, neat. Okay. Blow mold skullhead. Yeah, this is the right time of year to sell that kind of stuff. That's for sure. Grandkids galore. Are you interested in having him teach you how to do that kind of stuff, right? Because that might be a fun thing to pick up. All of this stuff I have found, it just takes repetition for me, right? I just try it and try it and try it until I get it. And then after that, I don't have to worry about it anymore. Probably taking good notes too. Yes, Ruth, very much so. Um, if you have an eBay store, or maybe if you don't and you don't know this, then you get access to a tool called Terapeak. And that'll give you an additional, I believe it's 2 years of sales history of eBay. And it's included with the store price. So I've been using that a whole lot more when there's literally no sold comps, or even if there's no listings, like to try and see if there actually is some value, right? Because I'm a firm believer in data. I love data. I love to be able to tell you, yes, this is worth something. I'm going to make some money on this. I know it is. But I also know, like, sometimes I have that, I just, in the back of my head, I just know this is worth money, but I can't prove it. Or that gut feeling, right? The gut feeling of, you just know this is going to have some value if I can just figure out what the value is. So Terapeak for me really has helped me learn a lot more about some of the more uncommon items and how to get pricing for them. Very, very helpful. JGB, living in Washington State now. I love it. I was talking about that a little while ago. Um, I'm from the Seattle area originally. Whereabouts in Washington are you from? Oh, and that's interesting, JGB, that you know Ping. How interesting. I love it. We were talking a little bit ago about the Enema Man and all of the different YouTube channels. And I know one of you had said that you watch all the different channels, but you guys tell me the truth. Who else? Take me out of it, right? Because I'm obviously your favorite. No, that's not true. But who else do you guys really like to watch? Personally, I tend to rotate around. Sometimes it's going to be, I do like Harry Tornado. I feel like he's got a lot of, I don't know, he's different than he used to be when he was a smaller channel. So it's a little bit different than he used to be. I like Bearded Thrift Machine. Commonwealth Picker, sometimes he does really long videos usually. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit through a long video. I was big on Philly Flipper for a while. And then, what is it? Shani Sells? I think she might have quit her channel. I really enjoyed watching her stuff. And then there's a few others that I get into. But honestly, you guys, I kind of preferred the smaller channels lately. Like the people who are really going out to hustle, don't necessarily have the funds to go and make some of the big purchases, right? Like it is fun to watch channels like Froggy Flips, right? He goes and buys some of these amazing toy collections, but he's also got the cash to back it up because he's been doing it for a while. So it's fun to go and see some of the guys who don't necessarily have that funds. I know when I first started, it's been a little over 10 years now that I've been doing this. I remember I used to be like, I had $200 and that was it. If I used all that $200, it wasn't going to the bank to get more money. That was all I had. I had to make that work. I had to go and take the stuff I bought home and sell it and then get more money so I could go buy more stuff. And it was tough. It was a hustle. So like I've really been enjoying channels that are more like that lately, just to kind of see like how are they making things work. Oh, in Olympia. I lived in the Tacoma area. I was in Tacoma growing up, and then we moved to University Place. And that's where I went to high school, actually. ADH Dave. Oh, I love it. I've seen him a few times. Um, I want to say that did he change the name of his channel? I want to say that he did, but I can't remember what it used to be. Very interesting, Ruth, about the necklace. Rare as hen's teeth. Oh, I am going to use that phrase with one of my friends tomorrow. I love it. Chase after the right price. Yeah, he's good. I like Chase. Part-time pickers actually is really good. Even though his channel has grown quite a bit, I still really enjoy it. Um, he's I think the one that got me into silverware this year because he was talking about it in the spring, and I started doing some research on it. So like really enjoyed like learning some new things from him this year. Amy, you went to FlipCon? How cool! I haven't been to any of these cons. I haven't been to any of those big meetups. It does sound like a lot of fun. Again, it's usually like, how best do I spend my time? Do I stay here with the boys and try and keep the family going, or do I go do that kind of stuff? We'll see. Maybe I'll try and make it out to one of them in the future. Let's see if I can scroll back up. I missed a couple of things here. Nurse Flipper, yeah, I was on her last Tuesday's podcast, so I really do like hers. Um, she does a lot more. What do you call it? Like we're talking to the camera like this, where I do prefer some of the live footage, which is kind of why I focus a lot more on the live footage. I did have to kind of meter that out now, where I try to insert a lot more talking to the camera after each sale, talking about why I bought some of the things I bought, which really was where she focuses, I think. So very interesting. Shed flips. Oh, I haven't watched him in a long time. I used to watch him all the time. Lonnie, I think, right? Auction Professor from Ruth. Yeah, I have watched a bunch of his stuff. I actually bought some stuff a week or two ago based on a video I'd watched of his. Right, you guys know I love toys, and it's these Marvel Build-A-Figures where you would buy a toy and it would come with like the arm of some giant toy, and then you'd buy another toy and it come with the other arm. And he was like, "Yeah, if you ever see that stuff, just buy it. It's worth its weight in gold. If you can, pick up the rest of the parts cheap on eBay and then complete the big figure to sell it for the big money." I think maybe that advice might now be a little bit old, but I did buy some parts and they sold very well for me. I think I've only sold two of the items and I've already doubled my money and I still have three to go. So like really good advice from him. Philly Flipper, okay. Mel from Back from Burnout, interesting. The Boring Reseller, I haven't heard of him. 1 Foot Flipper, I haven't heard of them either. It's very interesting, like truly how many different channels are out there, and it's right. It's impossible to keep up with them all, but it's really fun. Amy Neese, hello from Ohio, hello from Connecticut. Michael D asks, do you think you pay too much for many items? Maybe if full time you would only buy them when you can triple or more your money. Um, I'd say I'm kind of across the spectrum. Some things I know I overpay for because I like to sell them. Video games, toys, sometimes I'll pay a little too much for, and sometimes it's just fun to buy things just because you want to buy them. I definitely know, especially if the day is slow, I'm going to pay more just because I want to buy something, I want to find something. I feel like once you have that really that nice first big purchase under your belt for the day, like then you can kind of get it going a little bit better. I don't know why that's probably not true at all. But yeah, I think it's possible if you went full time, you'd only want to focus there. But I've also thought about this quite a bit. Like volume, I think, becomes a lot more important, right? Selling a lot of stuff as quickly as possible. Maybe even if the margins aren't going to be as what you want it to be with the percentage wise, but you might be able to say, I paid $100 for this and I sold it for $225 and I made $100. Done. Like get it out of the house. We made that $100 and move on. So I think maybe since I'm not full time, I think I'd have to do a bunch of testing if I did go full time. JGB said, I used to watch Raking Profits. Yeah, he was, when I first started doing YouTube, I ran into him at that Savers I was talking about earlier in this live stream out in Manchester. I think he had just moved here from Florida, where he had lived here, then moved to Florida and moved back. But I know a lot of the local resellers know him. But I remember I was at like, I want to say 25 subscribers when I met him. And he did a quick little thing on his Instagram with me, and I took video of him and we put him up on my channel. And by the end of both of those videos going, I had like tripled my subscribers up to like 75. So it was really nice, and he was a super good dude. Really enjoyed meeting him. Hopefully you guys saw Amber standing behind me. Ping says Shed Flips is killing it on nutcrackers and dog costumes. How interesting, right? Like, I don't think I've ever bought a single nutcracker to sell, and definitely not any dog costumes. Like, I never even thought about selling a dog costume. I mean, maybe brand new, right? Like, that's always something. I I sell other pet stuff, like especially like those pet safe wireless fences. Oh my gosh, you guys, like those things sell very well for me. And I find, I don't know, 5 to 10 of them a year or something like that. And usually you can get them $20, something like that. Sell it for 100, 125, depending on what the market is doing. So definitely focus there for me, not on the costumes. Nutcrackers, though, very interesting. Like, I bet even especially at this time of year, they're probably going to start selling very well. I don't know that I sell a lot of them, you guys, or sell, obviously not. I don't know that I see a lot of them to buy. One of the things that I kind of, again, one of my best practices, I would say, is I try to focus on things that I see. So I remember a couple of years ago it was digital cameras. I'm like, I'm always seeing digital cameras. How can I make that, turn that into money? And 35 millimeter cameras like that too. And the market has changed a little bit. I'm not seeing those things quite as much anymore, but I still have the knowledge from it. So I was like, okay, nutcrackers, do I actually see those enough that I would be able to do the research and learn about it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Debbie says, hi, Amber. Jen S says, New York, tri-state area, but a nomad. Very interesting. I have lived all over the world, honestly. After college, I was in the Air Force for a few years, stationed all over the world. So I've lived all over the United States. So I have that feeling, but then I've lived in Connecticut now for 15 years, my goodness. So not a nomad anymore. Grandkids galore. Books, huh? Okay, I sell some books for sure. I love buying sets or lots, right? So I want to sell 5 to 10 Stephen King books, unless you can sell one of them by himself. I want to sell, what is it? Diary of a Wimpy Kid, right? That kind of stuff. I used to buy those quite a bit. I think those are starting to get, the value on those are starting to go down, but I found that there's now Dogman's up and coming. So that's the kind of books I'm focusing on. I'm also going to pick up like the Haynes car manuals. Like those are the kind of books I'll probably do. I know that a lot of people do books on Amazon. I have not done a ton there. I used to sell textbooks quite a bit on Amazon, but now, again, that market really isn't what it used to be. So not focusing there anymore either. What item on my eBay store has been up for sale the longest? Oh, we may have to do some research on that. That is very interesting. I may have to take a look, you guys. That I don't know. Let's see if I can find out really quickly without making this really boring. I would tell you that probably I've had something, at least one item listed for 3 years, which sounds ridiculous now that I say it out loud. But right, pandemic time, some of the stuff that we were listing probably wasn't the best stuff with the fastest turnover rate. but it was because you couldn't really get a lot of stuff at that point. I try once a year to take like a week off of work, go through the apartment, clean it up really well, get rid of stuff here that we don't need anymore, go through the storage unit the same way, and try and just get rid of stuff. And this year, the twins decided to interrupt that. I took my week off of work, and of course, they decided it would be a good time to get sick. So I think it was like 3 of the 5 days that I was off, they were sick. Amber and I had decided to do something on one of the days, and I had one day then to do whatever I could do. And it was, I really wanted to get what I've got here in the apartment organized, so that's what I ended up doing. I didn't do my clear out, where, right, there's a couple of ways I handled the clear out stuff, where I might do an auction, right? So put it up for auction, started at 99 cents. Hopefully it sells for more than 99 cents. I've been burned on that though, quite a bit, you guys. The other way is just donate it. Just take the listing down and donate it over to wherever you want to donate to. Let's see if we can find out here. All right, eBay is done. Start date. Let's see. So one of the things I found out by doing this live stream is that my computer does not really want to do the live stream and pretty much anything else. It wants to do one or the other. So it has been hard to try and do any kind of multitasking while I'm doing the streaming. All right, well, this is loading. I'm going back to the chat to see what else I'm missing. Oops. Texas is the most competitive. Very interesting there, Jen S. I had not heard that before. The most expensive item I have sold to date, a voice recorder. It was this crappy Radio Shack voice recorder that I paid probably $1 for, and I sold it for $1,500. It's ridiculous, you guys. It looks like junk. It's from Radio Shack. But the Ghost Hunters TV show, they use the exact same model when they're doing ghost hunting. So that drove that price of that item way, way up. I probably have a picture that may not look super great on the computer. We shall see. We shall see if I can do it really quickly here. I always try to keep it handy because I do get that question no matter what, kind of often. All right, we're going to see if you guys can see. There it is. It's a little Panasonic, I guess. And you can kind of see the price on there. It was $1,500. This was a while back now. I couldn't even tell you. 2018. There you go. That's my best item to date. Once, let's see if we can do it. Once this sells, I still think I'm going to get between $2,000 and $3,000 for it. That's going to be my best item when it does finally sell. AI for their listings, Grand King Lore. I have been playing around with it a little bit, but I haven't actually done any listings yet. All right, this is definitely not going to load as fast as I was hoping to do to see if I can find out what the oldest item is that I have up in my store. It is just sitting here and spinning and spinning and spinning. No, it's not going to do it. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you what it is, but I would guess it's probably, like I said, it's something that's been up for probably 3 years, probably sometime during the pandemic. There we go. It did finally do it. It is a Sony remote control, probably to either a DVD VHS player or to a VCR. I listed it on June 23rd, 2020. So I was right in line. It was just over 3 years ago that I listed it. 3 years and 3 months. Ooh, Grandkids Galore. That's a good vase. I love it. All right, let's see about getting into the drawing, you guys. Let's see if we can get it to where you guys can still see me. All right. The interface for this screen share thing is not my favorite. It is not my favorite at all. In order to like use it, you have to take another step basically. So I have to go and click on interact for it and be able to do it. And then for whatever reason, it will not let me copy and paste, which that's tough, you guys. It is tough. And like I said, my computer has not been super happy about multitasking. So everything is super slow. All right. We're going to filter out duplicate users, and I was worried that was going to happen. That maybe you could game the system and comment several times on it, but like that actually made a lot of sense that they have this on here. Bing, I'm the same way. The restores, I never had ventured into one, and then Ruth, like you said, there's too many experts, is what I found. So like I went once, and I'm not going to go again probably. I thought this was really interesting. Their CAPTCHA is math, so I have to do 7 plus 1 here in order for this to work, which I think is really funny. Let's see how many comments there were. There were 63 earlier today. It would be great if it was somebody who's actually here in the stream who wins. That would be awesome, you guys. Oh, 64 now. We did go up since earlier today. That's great. Oh yeah. One of the things that I've been wanting is that I would hope to make some more money to where I could actually buy a new computer, but 2 baby boys, like most of my extra money goes to them these days. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right, you guys, as soon as this thing starts, we're going to pick a winner. Good luck to anybody who's here. Good luck to everybody, honestly, who's watching. I saw Debbie's name go by. I saw Amy's name go by. There we go. Michael D. Oh, somebody who's local. Very interesting. I don't think I saw Michael in the chat, but that's okay. I'm going to comment on the video, make sure he knows that he's the winner. So congratulations if you come back and watch this later, Michael. Thank you very much for subscribing and for meeting me. Hopefully I was able to give you a sticker at that point. Oh yeah, StreamYard. I've heard about that thing. All right, so let's close this one down. And we'll put me back into the middle. See what I mean though, you guys? It's kind of clunky, but hey, at least I was able to share the screen with you guys tonight, so that was pretty good. Oh, Michael S., so close. So close. Well, I figured I'd wrap it up probably in about 5 minutes, you guys. But definitely, if anybody has any other questions, I'd love to answer them. I definitely want to thank all of you for joining me tonight for sure. It was a pleasure to do this. I've never done anything like this before, so it was really interesting to learn how to do it and set it up. And I had a great time interacting with all of you guys. It was really fun. As always, feel free to reach out to me either via comments or you can see my email address on my channel. It's Patrick, the CT Picker, at gmail.com. Yeah, feel free to email me, ask me any questions you have. Happy to answer anything if I have any expertise in it anyway. No kidding. Thank you. I honestly wasn't sure if I would hit 2,000 subscribers, you guys. I felt like I was stuck in the mid thousands for a long time. And I know it wasn't that long. I think it ended up taking me, I think I said 13 months to do from 1,000 to 2,000, but it felt like it was a slog. And that's not what I wanted. So this really has energized me again, which I really like. I like enjoying this. I like having fun with it. I like all the interaction I've had with you guys. That's been really fun. All right, you guys. I didn't see any other comments. So again, just want to thank you guys. Thank you, Ping, very much. Thank you guys. We'll wrap it up here. I hope everyone does have a good week. And if you're getting out to garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, whatever, you know, good luck. Hope you find that diamond in the rough. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys again. Next video will be on Monday. We're gonna call it quits for this week, but we'll be back on Monday with a new video. So yeah, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you guys in the future.